I know the title may seem confusing since the Frieza Force did win in the Bardock special, but there is a way that they could win in a better way than normal. After all, in the original, many of the Frieza Force were killed during the destruction of planet Vegeta, since Frieza didn't care if they were caught in the blast or not. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, as the change in his timeline would be earlier than that. When Bardock was in a healing pod, his team usually left to go to planet Meat without him. It wasn't until after they left that he had the visions of the future which woke him up. The change in his timeline is that he has these visions slightly earlier than usual, so he wakes up before his team leaves. This means that he and his team would go off to planet Meat together, but also get caught in Doria's ambush together. Of course, they could put up a better fight than they did alone, but even with Bardock's added power, all of them wouldn't be strong enough to overpower Doria. This is also assuming that what was said in the Ocean Dub about Bardock being able to make a fake moon wasn't true, so they would obviously easily win this fight if they could turn into their grade 8 forms. Regardless, the rest of the special generally goes the same, just without Bardock returning to planet Vegeta to try and warn the Saiyans, for obvious reasons. The next change in the timeline would be when Frieza is about to destroy planet Vegeta. Normally, when Frieza went against the Saiyans in this special, as we found out in later media, he was ordered to do this by Beerus, though there was also one mistake he made in this special. He let Goku escape. As we saw in the Cooler movie, Frieza and his men didn't see the space pod taking Goku away from planet Vegeta. It was Cooler that noticed it but decided to let it go. He saw it as Frieza's problem since it was his oversight. Not only did Frieza's oversight eventually lead to his own downfall, it also led to King Cold's and Cooler's downfall as well. Though Cooler choosing not to do anything about it also led to their own downfall. In this timeline, however, without Bardock being there to cause Frieza to send his men out to take him on, Frieza can destroy the planet sooner than usual. This means that after he finished laughing and gloating, he would return to his ship earlier than normal so that they could leave. As his men are preparing to leave and are at their workstations, they would notice a space pod that was carrying Goku fleeing planet Vegeta. When they report this to Frieza, he would order this pod to be shot down right away. Of course, with Goku just being an infant at this time, he couldn't do anything about this. Frieza killing Goku like this, it also makes the premonitions Bardock had in this special blatantly wrong if they stayed the same. So, his visions in this timeline might have been even bleaker before he died. The Kanasan that gave him the power to see the future said that he did this so that Bardock had to see his own downfall before he died. This could have been even further torture for the Saiyan warrior in this special. Not only would he have seen how he and his planet will die, but he'd have to see how his sons die as well. Anyway, back to Frieza and what he would do now that planet Vegeta is destroyed. As a brief side note, with more of the Frieza Force alive, Frieza has more men at his disposal. This is also partially the reason I called this video What If the Frieza Force Won, because more of his men are alive to serve Frieza. I also called this because I already made a video titled What If Frieza Won, and I didn't really want to make another video called that. Regardless, quite frankly, we don't know a lot about what Frieza did between the destruction of planet Vegeta and his arrival on Namek, though whatever he did in this time period would stay the same, as nothing about Goku having been killed would change anything. The first difference in the timeline, not counting what happened on Earth, is that when Raditz goes to Earth to find his brother, he wouldn't find anything, so he would just figure his brother never made it to Earth and conquer the planet for Frieza. Assuming the Saiyans plan to rebel against Frieza eventually, they might theorize that Frieza had killed Goku in his space pod. They would never be able to prove this. Another change is that Frieza may never go to Namek without overhearing the heroes mention the Dragon Balls to Vegeta. However, he also might have been able to learn about them in other ways, so it's hard to tell. Either way, even when Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz do decide to rebel, they wouldn't stand a chance. Together as Great Apes, their combined power level would be about 267,000, which is about half of First Form Frieza's power level. Once they are killed, that would essentially be all the Saiyans dealt with, as they don't know about Paragus and Broly. They could potentially find Broly eventually, but I doubt they would. They wouldn't see any worth in going to Vampa, without the need to search for fighters to fill Frieza's ranks, as it was never depleted by fighting the heroes or by Frieza's own attack. Eli and Lemma would never be searching the universe for fighters, so they would never go near Vampa, thus leaving Broly and Paragus there to die of old age. After this, Frieza would just continue to rule his empire in his typical way while Cooler rules his. If somehow possible, Frieza might be even more cocky in this timeline, as he single-handedly stopped the Super Saiyan from appearing. Anyway, King Cold would still play a part in the shadows and might help solve any squabbles between the brothers, though I could also see him just letting them fight it out at times. Regardless, there likely wouldn't be anyone that could challenge their rule over the universe anytime soon. The Cold family would remain on top of the universe just as they believed they were destined to be, at least for now.